Big tax prep solutions have recklessly shared tens of millions of taxpayers' sensitive personal and financial data with Google and Meta for years in what appears to represent a violation of taxpayer privacy laws. Lawmakers sent a letter to the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, the Federal Trade Commission, and the Department of Justice highlighting their key findings and calling on these departments to fully investigate this matter and prosecute any company or individuals who violated the law. The investigation revealed that tax preparation companies TaxAct, TaxSlayer, and H&R Block shared millions of taxpayers' data with Meta, Google, and other big tech firms. The tax prep companies used computer code, known as pixels, to send data to Meta and Google. While most websites use pixels, it is particularly reckless for online tax preparation websites to use them on web pages where tax return information is entered unless further steps are taken to ensure that the pixels do not access sensitive information. TaxAct, TaxSlayer, and H&R Block confirmed that they had used the Meta Pixel, and had been using it, for at least a couple of years, and all three companies had been using Google Analytics for even longer. Tax prep companies shared extraordinarily sensitive personal and financial information with Meta, which used the data for diverse advertising purposes. TaxAct, H&R Block, and TaxSlayer each revealed, in response to this congressional inquiry, that they shared taxpayer data via their use of the Meta Pixel and Google's tools. Although the tax prep companies and big tech firms claimed that all shared data was anonymous, the FTC and experts have indicated that the data could easily be used to identify individuals, or to create a dossier on them that could be used for targeted advertising or other purposes. Tax prep companies and big tech firms were reckless about their data sharing practices and their treatment of sensitive taxpayer data. The tax prep companies indicated that they installed the Meta and Google tools on their websites without fully understanding the extent to which they would send taxpayer data to these tech firms, without consulting with independent compliance or privacy experts, and without full knowledge of Meta's use of and disposition of the data. Tax prep companies may have violated taxpayer privacy laws by sharing taxpayer data with big tech firms. Under the law, a tax return preparer may not disclose or use a taxpayer's tax return information prior to obtaining a written consent from the taxpayer, and they failed to do so when it came to the information that was turned over to Meta and Google. Tax prep companies can also turn over data to auxiliary service providers in connection with the preparation of a tax return. But Meta and Google likely do not meet the definition of auxiliary service providers, and the data sharing with Meta was for advertising purposes, not in connection with the preparation of a tax return. The law also states that fines can be up to $1,000 for each violation. With millions of customers potentially impacted, the cost for these companies could be in the billions. Senator Warren has been at the forefront of holding tax prep firms and big tech accountable for their behavior, and pushed for an effective IRS direct free file program. In April 2023, at a hearing of the Senate Finance Committee, Senator Warren questioned Internal Revenue Service, IRS, Commissioner Daniel Werfel about the IRS's failed free file partnership with private tax preparation software companies and called on the agency to implement a direct e-file program that will be truly free and easy for millions of Americans. When Senator Warren pointed out that tax prep companies are instead pushing alternative services that should be free, are marketed as free, but are not, Commissioner Werfel also agreed that the whole process needs to be improved, that taxpayer rights have been violated, and the IRS has an obligation to make the tax system easier for taxpayers to navigate. In July 2022, Senator Warren led 22 of her colleagues in introducing the Tax Filing Simplification Act of 2022 to simplify the tax filing process for millions of Americans by lowering costs, eliminating red tape for all taxpayers, and saving them hours and hundreds of dollars. During an exchange of the United States Senate Finance Committee in June 2022, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen agreed with Senator Warren on the need to create a free tax filing system that actually works for Americans. What do you think should be done? Comment down below and remember to like and subscribe for more cyber insight.